If you clicked on this video and you're a long-time viewer, you are probably wondering, who the hell is the Lady of Pain? Well, I decided to make this video because whilst I am normally a Metroid and Tomb Raider channel, I also do a third type of video content on this channel. That is trying to educate my viewers to be more mindful power scalers. Many of my videos have been lessons in the shortcomings of modern power scaling in the community. Lara Croft vs. Jill Valentine with a lesson that matches that seem close on paper can actually be curb stomps. SCX vs. Dark Samus with a lesson that the same universe matchups can actually have extreme power creep that needs to be examined, and not assume variables don't change with time, while Link vs. Ridley debunk, and even more so the Samus vs. Iron Man debunk, was an expose that so many mainstream scalers couldn't be bothered to do a basic amount of research. In today's video, I want to address comments I have seen from time to time, people asserting a character like Samus Aran or Doomslayer or One Punch Man are in the Omniverse tier or higher than they actually are. So I have pushed them back to Multiversal in my comments and my videos where they belong, but I haven't given my viewers a proper example of a being that transcends Multiversal tiering. So without further ado, I present you the true power of the Lady of Pain. She rules and protects the city of Sigil, a city in the shape of a Taurus that stands at the very top of an infinitely tall spire, which is said to be the center of all creation. The Lady isn't so much of a person as she is something fundamental to the setting. At the very least, she is the center of all pain in all of creation, but she's not a divine nor a god. Indeed, the Lady of Pain strikes down any fool who would worship her, and as such, she bars all gods from entering her city. There is much mystery surrounding the Lady, and going into full detail on all we know would take forever. But given that she is one of the few completely statless characters in the Dungeons & Dragons series, along with the feats that we will discuss, the Lady of Pain is easily in the discussion for top 5 strongest beings in all of D&D. Let's start with her attack potency, durability, and speed, which ironically enough, next to her hacks abilities, these may be the least flashy things the Lady of Pain has. Lady of Pain has restricted feats and full power feats. In her restricted base self, she pretty casually keeps all the gods of the D&D setting out of Sigil. This includes the likes of Shar, the embodiment of darkness and evil, who is capable of creating order from chaos on a multiversal scale, created the Shadow Weave, which was magic that stretched across the entire multiverse, and controls the Shadow Plane, or Shadowfell, which is connected to the entire multiverse. Even Eoskar, who when alive was considered the greatest of all gods, and was the god of portals, he tried to take over the city of Doors, or Sigil, from the Lady, a city riddled with portals, given it connects to everyone in the multiverse, and yet despite all this, Lady killed him in just one thought. A single, casual thought. He did. The best feats of Restricted Lady of Pain is she completely rewrote the entire D&D setting, changing it from 2nd edition to 3rd edition rules, which does contain 5-dimensional realities in it, and possibly equally impressive that she can casually kill the Nameless One, the protagonist of Planescape Torment, and honestly a powerhouse in his own right, and philosophically impossible to kill. This is the same guy from the same setting that he can debate the letter O, the actual letter, and he convinced people that they didn't exist, and they then ceased to exist. His own curse is that he can never die, even to philosophical traps like this, and yet the Lady does not care. She just killed him. As for her unrestricted self, it is stated that if she ever revealed her true terrible form, it would instantly destroy the D&D cosmology, which contains an infinitely dimensional multiverse used by the old ones, yet she'd be able to instantly destroy it, just by existing. To give you an idea of where her restricted self and unrestricted self land in terms of their dimensional scaling, I'll be using Versus Battle Wiki's tiering system since it is so well known among the scaling community in terms of terminology. Then make no mistake, I have no love for Versus Battle Wiki as an organization. Restricted Lady of Pain, at worst, given 5-dimensional destruction, and be able to rewrite all of D&D, should be in the same tier as Al the Overgod, and occupy a low complex multiversal level, which is above high multiversal for reference. Her true form capable of fodderizing an infinite dimensional multiverse by existing, would be well into the high hyperversal level. Oh, and if you're wondering about her speed, it's infinite. She can kill anyone who worships her anywhere in the D&D setting, and she transcends the verse in totality in her true form with minimum effort. So, that was easy. Hey boys and girls, you know what's more fun than being a hyperversal monster? Being a hyperversal monster with a ton of hacks. I'll dedicate this section to the Lady of Pain's most notable hacks abilities, and she has a lot. When she remade all of Dungeons & Dragons from 2nd edition to 3rd edition, that included rewriting literally everything, even species' backstories. So in effect, she should have time and space manipulation, creation, plot manipulation, life manipulation, and death manipulation right off the bat. Pain manipulation as the center of all pain in the multiverse. Fodderizing gods and the likes of the Nameless One proves power and regeneration negation. She has sealing as she can trap people in infinite mazes of her own making. In D&D, actions taken by gods are guaranteed to have the highest chance of success possible, meaning the lady being able to ignore this and use it herself strongly implies both probability manipulation and probability negation. She has precognition, she has existence erasure, and even her own shadow can rip apart people so badly it's been described as impossible and a violation of the laws of physics. She has a causality, damage nullification, invisibility, size manipulation, mind control, force field creation, and of course, law manipulation, as she again rewrote the rules of D&D. This is not a complete list in any regards, but honestly I think I've made my point on what the lady is capable of. I hope this video gave you guys a better appreciation for the entities that are above the multiversal tier. But for reference, finally, you may be wondering what the matchup would look like if it was the Lady of Pain versus the likes of Goku, Samus Aran, the Doomslayer, or even One Punch Man. And if they tried to square up with the Lady of Pain, how would that turn out? Well, this short clip, which is brought to you by some brilliant D&D animators, should give you an indication of how a fight will go for those guys. So, enjoy!
Oh no, not the bags I'm holding! Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, that's going to happen. We're just going to be friends.
You know, maybe I gave the heroes a little too much credit. I think the fight would be much over faster than that. But it shouldn't be a surprise. The Lady of Pain was designed to be the Dungeon Master's no, a way of protecting the setting from its players, an unkillable roadblock. So as a wise man once said, "Thou shalt not fuck with the Lady of Pain." Take care.